888-990-6976.
Here's the Wall Street Business Report.
A crisis at chipmaker Nexperia sending automakers scrambling.
A power struggle over Nexperia, a Chinese-owned Dutch semiconductor maker, is impacting global auto production. The Dutch government has taken control of Nexperia, citing national security concerns. The move highlights vulnerabilities in the technology supply chain affecting automakers like Honda, which halted production at a Mexican factory. The dispute is part of a broader U.S.-China tech rivalry, with Europe caught in the middle. Nexperia's chips are crucial for the auto industry, and finding replacements is challenging. Keith Peters, Washington.
Major streaming platforms continue raising prices as consumers stick with subscriptions despite higher costs. On Wall Street, it was a mixed bag at the closing bell. The Dow up to a new record high, up by 326 points. NASDAQ lost 61. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
News and analysis at townhall.com.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. We are clear, but not as chilly this evening, with a low temperature dropping to 40. Tomorrow, more the same as we are enjoying today. Plentiful sunshine to go with a high up to 69. That sunshine continues all the way into the weekend. We'll keep getting warmer, too. Friday, we're at 70, while Saturday and Sunday, we climb all the way to the upper 70s. There is no rain in the forecast for the next week or so. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
This is Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen. Sports Talk is heard across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and is streaming live on SportsTalkSC.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call in is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, here are Phil and Chris with tonight's edition of Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network. Glad to have you with us. What a gorgeous day in the Palmetto State. Hope you enjoyed it. Now, cap it off with 2 hours of the best sports talk that we can find anywhere. Pure, clean, unadulterated sports talk. We talk sports. We don't talk politics. We don't tell you our favorite bands. We don't talk about our girlfriends. We talk sports here on Sports Talk. That's why we call it Sports Talk. 888-898-2525. South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to get into us. You can also text us 803-900-4847. That's Chris Bergen cackling in the background. Welcome back, sir.
Yes, sir. Good to be back. No, I was laughing at you classifying our show as clean, knowing that Coach Ellis Johnson's coming up a little bit later on.
Oh, he had one slip of the tongue. You're allowed. One slip of the tongue.
Certain slips of the tongue are considerably worse than others.
True. We're very nervous, but we'll be on guard. We'll be on guard tonight. We'll have Coach Johnson, Coach Reedy, 7:05 over.
That'll be fun.
South Carolina today. They brought us two coordinators. Kind of thought that Mike Furry, since he's going to be calling plays, would have been brought in today, but they didn't bring him in, so no Mike Furry.
Were you surprised?
Yeah, I thought they'd bring him in.
I was a little bit too, yeah. I thought they would at least let him, not just from a media perspective, but I think the fans would like to hear, all right, our offense has been terrible, so what are you doing to fix it? Mm-hmm. You know, you don't have to give out the game plan. I mean, Texas A&M is good enough, even if they had Carolina's game plan, they may still win the game. Yeah. But, you could answer some questions. You don't have to be thorough with it, but at least give the fans a little insight as to what's been going on the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to have heard from him, but we didn't. But we will hear from Clayton White, who's got his hands full trying to deal with this powerful Texas A&M offense. Now, last year in Columbia, when the Gamecocks had a big offensive day, they had over 500 yards of offense, and they held A&M to 20 points and about 350 yards. So they did a good job from that standpoint, but A&M is much more mature than that team was last year. Their quarterback, Marcel Reed, is a year older, and I think he's a lot more comfortable with what they're doing. They've got talent at receiver, running back, big offensive line, very good defense. This will be a tough. The question is, do you take the 18.5? Is that enough? Do you take the 18.5, or do you just roll with Texas A&M in this deal Saturday afternoon? And Clemson getting ready to head up to Louisville on Friday. The Tigers have their own challenges as well, dealing with a Louisville team, which is, forget about what happened against Cal in Virginia. 2 games they've lost. They've lost in overtime by a field goal. So very close to being an undefeated team. If they don't have Isaac Brown, that makes a big difference in their running game. So that would be a bonus. Bless you. That would be a bonus. There'd be a lot of that going around, I'm afraid. There'd be a bonus for the Clemson defense not to worry with him. He burned them for 151 yards last year in the Valley. So if he's not able to go because of his hamstring, that's going to be critical for Clemson and that defense up at Louisville on Friday. And the question, and we'll pose this to the coaches later, Bergie, I mean, the Clemson offense has really been smoking since October. They're averaging over 34 points a game. Now, we know 2 of those were against North Carolina and Boston College, a couple of walkovers, but still, you think they have found themselves on offense?
Well, I can tell you what, and I joked about this Monday, and I'll stick with it. I can tell you what Chuck Reedy is going to say. Yeah, Cade Klubnik has played considerably better. He has looked like, I think, the Klubnik we thought we would see when the season began. But the problem Clemson has is they still cannot run the football. And until they get that fixed, and I don't know that they're going to. I think they are who they are in terms of the ground game, and it may be a situation much like South Carolina that your quarterback is going to have to carry you. And I think Cade Klubnik has proven the last couple of ball games he's good enough to do that. And so I think their offense has turned the corner. Now, you got that weird game on a Friday night. Clemson doesn't like playing on Fridays, and to their credit, I can't say enough how much I appreciate Clemson saying we're not playing home games on a Friday night, because that's a high school night. Now, if we have to go on the road because of the ACC, so be it. But we are not playing at home on a Friday when we can control that. So I don't know. I'd be interested if the coaches can even chat about this, because back when they were coaching, I don't remember many Friday college games. But is it different than preparing for a Thursday game?
Yeah, it's just kind of moved everything up a little bit. Like, Sweeney did not do his Sunday conference call because their Sunday became a Monday, and so on down the line. So for them, for us, this is Wednesday, but for them it's Thursday, because tomorrow will be their Friday, which means they're traveling tomorrow, and then wait a minute, tomorrow's Thursday, which will be their Friday, and then Friday will be their Saturday. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, correct.
We'll figure it out. All right. The phone number, 888-898-2525. Basketball tonight, South Carolina. Men at home against Presbyterian. Don't sleep on PC.
No.
Do not sleep on the Blue Hosies, because they're capable of surprising you. So that game will tip off a little bit after 7 o'clock at the Colonial Life Arena. Bob Jones and Upstate are playing tonight. Those are the 2 games in state. Your team, Coastal Carolina, got a win, nice win. They always like to beat Winthrop in basketball.
Oh, no doubt. That's a great rivalry, and all those games, it seems like all those games play out sort of the same script, and last night was really strange. Talk about South Carolina and their ability to shoot threes and how much Lamont Paris's team loves to shoot the three. Coastal is trying to play that similar style. As a matter of fact, the first 4 shots that Coastal made last night on 4 straight attempts was from 3. They actually led that game 12-0, and then the next thing you know, it's 12-9 because Winthrop goes on a run, and then Coastal goes on about a 10-point run, and then Winthrop responded with about a 10-point run. I mean, just back and forth. It was a terrific game. The final score, though, if you kind of watch the entire ball game, the final score may be a little bit closer than the game actually was. I mean, Coastal led that thing for about 38 minutes last night, so they were in control most of the night. But, yeah, Coastal Winthrop's always a lot of fun. And the good news is we get to see it again in a couple of weeks because they're going to meet in early December up in Rock Hill.
Yeah. All right, today's the first day of the, I call it early signing period. You call it fall signing period, whatever you want to call it, for basketball, baseball, other sports. So we got folks signing up for, in particular, basketball and baseball, that we'll be passing along information on that when we get to our recruiting report here coming up a little bit later on. So we've got pretty much room and time for your phone calls, also your text messages. Be sure to send us your picks for Saturday, South Carolina and Texas A&M, Clemson, Louisville on Friday. Get those into us straight up, and if you hit it on the nose. We're going to take you out to lunch at Seawell's, and you can choose who pays, whether it's Bergie or me, or I think the most popular choice would be the plumber. I think people want to go to lunch with the freshmen.
Do you expect Bergie to come up to Columbia?
You're still a freshman,
that's
right?
Fair, yeah.
You're not a freshman if you happen to finish your freshman year, which would be sometime in the spring. I'm not betting on it,
And do you expect Bergie to come up from Sardis? And
I think Bergie would make the trip
to eat at
for the
to
fans.
Eat at Seawell's?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, he would do it.
I would drive over to eat at Seawell's.
Bergie and Tiger Bryan eating Seawell's together.
I would enjoy that with Tiger Bryan.
He would do it for the people. He would do it for the people. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the phones. 888-898-2525. South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number. It's Tiger Bryan. Tiger Bryan joining us. It's been a little while. I was afraid maybe a bear ate him on his vacation at Lake Greenwood. So it's good to have you back, Tiger Bryan.
I'll tell you what, it's been a long time. But you know what? I still been listening. I'll be almost hit the button to call you. I know we lost again. I couldn't take eating that crow. You know what I mean? But
you bounced back. You bounced back this past Saturday and got a much needed win.
Man, we still busted plays. Them boys hadn't dropped the balls, we might not have won the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Or overthrown passes.
I don't think. I have glasses, but my wife tells me every play, Miss Tiger Bryan. She said, "Hey, I'm glad they got grease on their hands." Because they done dropped 5, they've been touchdowns. But you know what? I think Dave, he's playing hurt, he's playing his butt off. And I think Davis, the kid, he's going to be a good running back for us.
I think he's got promise. I think he's got promise.
Well, I'm going to tell you, my prediction, right now we're going to win out. I know I told you that after. We got beat from LSU. But now, 3 games left, we'll win out. I promise you that.
I'll tell you what was, I think, a big move for Clemson, and it happened because of injury, but Braden Jacobs going in at left guard, and then Tristan Lee getting healthy at left tackle. I mean, Clemson has a massive left side of the offensive line now. I mean, Jacobs as a freshman, he's like 6'7", 340. Tristan Lee is like 330. They're massive on the left side, and Jacobs is a good player, and he's only going to get better. So it turns out from injury, that's turned out to be kind of a positive situation for them. And if they can keep Walker Parks healthy at right guard, of course, Blake Miller's amazing at right tackle. Can you imagine, guys, Dabo Swinney said on Tuesday, now Blake Miller has been a starter at right tackle since game 1 of his freshman season.
Yeah, I saw that. That's incredible.
And he's only missed in his entire career, 2 practices his entire career. He never missed a game, never missed a start. He's only missed 2 practices. Do you realize how many practices and games that is over a 4-year period? That's amazing. Obviously, he's in great shape. He takes care of himself. He's strong, but he's also very fortunate because all it takes is somebody falling on an ankle, rolling up on your ankle, and you're going to be out for a couple of weeks. So fortunate, but good as well. Any further thoughts, Tiger Bryan? Did y'all have fun at Lake Greenwood, you and Mrs. Tiger Bryan?
Yeah, we did. I'm gonna tell you what, though. The catfish gods went with me because I got a couple bites. It was white capping. We had a good time, Mom. Me and little Beanie Weenie and Miss Tiger Bryan, my little dog. He's looking at my daddy. You can't catch no fish. I'm gonna fire you.
Oh my gosh! What's the name of your dog?
Beanie Weenie. He's a little miniature Dachshund Hound.
Beanie Weenie. Okay.
Beanie Weenie.
Beanie
yes,
Weenie.
Sir.
Love it. Love it.
Hey, man, I love y'all. Hey, I'm gonna call every week now, so get ready. I'm number one on the spot now.
Okay, we looking for you. We looking for you.
All right, brothers. I enjoy the show. Y'all keep up the good work.
All right.
Go Tigers!
Thank you, TB, and say hello to Beanie Weenie. How about that name, Bergie? How about Beanie Weenie?
That's a great name, and so apropos. We had miniature dachshunds growing up when I was a kid, and they all looked like a hot dog.
Yeah,
I mean that's how the length and the depth. They're not real fat, so they're real thin and long, and so Beanie Weenie seems to fit perfectly.
Those little short, stocky legs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a great name.
Love it, Beanie Weenie. Sounds like something that Tiger Bryan would have for dinner when he's at Lake Greenwood. Weenies and beans, Beanie Weenies.
Yeah, they come out of the can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sausages.
I had that for dinner last week.
Did you? Did it fill you up? Probably not. All right, thank you for the call. We can continue with more. Let us hear from you. 888-898-2525. Be right back.
I'm State Treasurer Curtis Loftus, here to share some great news. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan, can now be used for a lifetime of learning. From K through 12 to college and beyond, saving tax-free for your child or grandchild's education has never been easier. You can start with any amount. Contributions are tax-deductible and earnings grow tax-free. Discover the smart, easy way to save for college today at futurescholar.com.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love, and you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
Life insurance isn't for you. It's for those you love the most. For a complete insurance review, call Buddy Bridges in Lawrence County at 864-923-2174, serving Lawrence, Clinton, and the shores of Lake Greenwood.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at sccattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
G3 here with Tsunami Bar Sports, and it's time for a fall preview. That's right, 720 Chris Drive, 378 and I-26, Frontage Road, where you can now preview the best technology for golf known to man. It's the Tsunami Bar. It's live weight. It's the only technology out where you get your tempo and flow going before you play. Now, it also serves as a pattern support tool. 720 Chris Drive, Frontage Road, 378 and I-26. You also can visit the Garage Gym Pro Shop. Pick up your tools, take them home, and while you're here, tour the Scramble Course 6-hole pitch and putt right now.
It's Sports Talk, Wednesday night edition, Sports Talk Media Network, around the state. Hey, reminder, we always stream our show. Of course, our first choice is our radio stations across the state. They are fantastic with great people from down in Charleston up to Myrtle Beach, through Columbia. Going to miss people, but over at Newberry, over there in the Florence area, Sumter, up to Rock Hill, over to Greenville, all across the state. Over in Woodruff, Spartanburg, great radio stations. Hopefully I didn't forget anybody, but if I did, I apologize. But you know who you are. We want you to find us on the radio first and foremost, but in those cases where you can always go to where we stream, and we stream multiple ways. Our YouTube channel continues to grow with subscribers, so go there and hit that, as they say, what do they say? Hit that subscription button, right? For whatever reason, you can hit that subscription button. That lets you know, of course, when we're hitting the airwaves. The Chief Sports app, fabulous way to get us as well. Another place where you can get an alert when we're going on the air. They also have, of course, we stream the high school scoreboard as well. Streaming on our X page also, and on Facebook. So all those places, and our website, SportsTalkSC.com. So no reason for you not to be able to find us. If you can't get us over the radio, that's choice number one. Choice number two would be one of those other streaming outlets. So don't be lazy, and don't forget about us if you don't hear us over the radio for any particular reason. Now, to some of the text messages. Got a bunch of text messages in here. Predictions. Get those predictions in. Text message line 803-900-4847. We've got South Carolina 27, Texas A&M 24, and Louisville 31, Clemson 27, and the plumber can still have my dessert. That's from Ernie. Ernie says you can have his dessert.
I think you read this last night.
I didn't read these last night. Not these.
You did Monday, though. I remember Ernie saying about dessert. Yeah, we tried to talk Ernie into eating the dessert at Sewell's.
All right. So
he's missing out.
He gets a double dose. Mm-hmm. He gets a double dose. All right. But anyway, those go into the group of predictions. Let's see here. This is from Gary. I will take the Gamecocks as they pull off the biggest upset of the year in college football. I think I've read this. Why am I seeing these in again? I thought I put these in the save category, so I'm not going to read that again. Also from Gary, please ask Coach Beamer if he has any thoughts of playing Vicari Swain on offense. Did I read this already too?
Yes, because we thought that was an interesting idea.
Okay. Well, he's got the final score of South Carolina 24 and Texas A&M 21. I just can't see that happening.
No. A&M's too good on offense to only be held to 21 points. Heck, I think Marcel Reed, Phil, probably deserves more consideration for the Heisman than he's getting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think
he's a guy with over 2,000 yards and almost 20 touchdowns this season.
I think as time goes on, he's going to get more attention as they get to the playoffs. And of course, some people may have already made up their mind for quarterback at Vanderbilt or the quarterback at Indiana. You know, you got people pushing. Let's see here. This is from LG843. I heard Sports Talk show host say Sark from Texas would be good fit for the Giants job. What do you think? And would Archie go to the NFL? Or Arch? Would Arch go to the NFL if he leaves? So I've not heard that yet. The Giants, by the way, are going to start Jameis Winston against the Packers on Sunday. Yeah. Okay, so all we need to do is fall into that trap. I mean, you know, Sarkisian to the NFL, leaving Texas. I mean, anything's possible. I'm not going to sit here and say that would not happen if they went after him with a boatload of money and all that. And I think Arch Manning would still have another year of college. This is just his second year, is it not?
I think that's right, yeah.
This is just his second year.
Been talking about him for so long, but this is, he hadn't played all that much.
Yeah, just his second year. So I don't think he can leave just yet. All right, what are Dylan Stewart's numbers what are Dylan Stewart's numbers so far? Doesn't seem like he's having that good of a year. Well, he actually is not having a bad year. He's not having a spectacular year. Keep in mind that he's getting all kinds of attention from offenses, double teams, running away from him, quarterbacks running away from him. They're making it as difficult as possible for him to be able to get his hands on the quarterback. But, when his career numbers are going to end up, if he stays another year at South Carolina, going to end up pretty impressive. Through 9 games this year, he has got 30 total tackles. He's got 11 tackles for loss.
I think that would surprise a lot of people, Phil. I know when I just saw that shocked me. I didn't realize he was that disruptive this year.
Mm-hmm. And that's for a loss of 57 yards. He's got 3.5 sacks for 30 yards. So in his career, he's got 10 sacks. He's got 21 and a half tackles for loss. He's got 12 quarterback hurries. So that's not bad. Those aren't bad numbers at all, considering so much. I mean, I think he's delivering kind of what was expected. I think the fact they're having a losing year sort of doesn't shine a bright light on what he's doing. That's what happens when you have good numbers on a losing team. You're kind of overlooked. But he's having a good season. I don't think you can point the finger at him.
No, he's tied for 4th in the SEC in tackles for loss. And, we hear so much about Cassius Howell at Texas A&M and how good he is. He's not that much better than Dylan Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
So I think part of it is the defense was just so dominant at times last year with both he and Kyle Kennard that I think a lot of folks thought Dylan Stewart would be able to carry the load going into this year, and he's tried to do his ever best.
Mm-hmm.
He just hasn't had a whole lot of help.
Gamecock
especially
Tony
with the offense.
Gamecock Tony from Lancaster, good old high school football Friday night, Clemson and Louisville, where the ACC belongs. He's got South Carolina 27, A&M 24, Clemson 34, Louisville 20. Clemson 34, Louisville 20. I haven't made my picks in my head yet, but I'm sort of leaning. I might be leaning. I'm always influenced by what I see last. What is stuck in my mind. And what stuck in my mind was Clemson's performance against Florida State offensively was really pretty good. And defensively, I mean, they caught some breaks with some Florida State mistakes, but they weren't all that bad. Back after the break.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. We are clear, but not as chilly this evening with a low temperature dropping to 40. Tomorrow, more of the same as we are enjoying today. Plentiful sunshine to go with a high up to 69. That sunshine continues all the way into the weekend. We'll keep getting warmer, too. Friday, we're at 70, while Saturday and Sunday, we climb all the way to the upper 70s. There is no rain in the forecast for the next week or so. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
When your temperatures swing, your comfort shouldn't. At Sweet Comfort Services, we make sure your system's ready for anything. Get our $99 preventative maintenance, a full inspection and tune-up that keeps your equipment efficient, reliable, and safe. Thinking it's time for an upgrade? We offer estimates on new Goodman and American Standard systems. You'll get honest advice, fair pricing, and expert installation. No gimmicks, no surprises. Call 803-331-8143 or visit sweetcomfortservices.com to schedule today.
That provide. With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump says Democrats who released Jeffrey Epstein emails mentioning him are trying to bring up his ties to the late sex offender again because they'll do anything at all to deflect on how badly they've done on the government shutdown and other issues. The emails were made public Wednesday by Democrats on the House Oversight Committee. The White House accuses Democrats of selectively leaking the emails to smear Trump. A federal appeals court has heard arguments about a spending law that stopped Medicaid reimbursements for Planned Parenthood, the nation's largest abortion provider. The law passed in July and targets organizations that provide abortions and receive over $800,000 annually in Medicaid reimbursements. On Wall Street, down by 326 points. This is SRN News.
I don't know too many folks out there who love paying taxes, but what about getting tax credits? That's appealing, right? My buddy Ken at Broker Solar is in the tax credit business. How would you like a solar battery that helps do two things? First, it serves as an instant generator the moment the power cuts out, and it doesn't even require gasoline. Secondly, it lets you take some control back from the power companies. Yeah, you can use solar power during the peak hours when your power company wants to charge you the most. Oh, and that tax credit on solar batteries, you can get a 30% tax credit right now. This is a phenomenal time to reach out to Ken. He'll come out to your home or your business. He'll give you a comprehensive free estimate, answer any questions. Solar isn't free, but you need to take advantage of those credits when they do come around. Call Ken right now. Save on a solar-powered battery. Online, find him at brokersolar.com or just call Ken, 807-7417. That's 807-7417, Broker Solar.
If you've never had genuine Wagyu or Hereford steaks and burgers, you don't know what you're missing. Time to order the best of the best from HandJCattle.com. These are local farmers in Saluda where tradition meets quality. The best quality beef and a discount for Point listeners. Enter keyword The Point as one word and get 10% off, plus free delivery in Lexington and Richland County orders of $50 or more. It's cooked in season over at HandJCattle.com.
The holiday shopping season is here. Get ahead of the crowd by shopping early and shopping smart with Founders Federal Credit Union. Now through December 31st, take advantage of 5.99% APR on select purchases made with your Founders credit card. Whether you're picking up the hottest toys for the kids or finally grabbing that item you've had your eye on, this offer makes it easier to spend holiday cheer without stretching your budget. Founders is here to help you make the most of the season with smart spending and flexible options. Treat your family and yourself. Save more and make this holiday season one to remember. Visit foundersfcu.com/cc for more information. Membership qualification required. Promotional rate ends July 1st, 2026. Effective APR of 13% to 17.9% will apply. See website for details.
Sleep better, dream better, right here at home. Best Mattress has built a legacy of comfort in the Midlands for 97 years. Family owned, locally crafted. Visit West Columbia, Divine Street, or our newest Lexington showroom by the amphitheater to experience real American-made quality. Discover your perfect mattress with our custom comfort test. Plus, get white glove delivery and a reassuring 90-day comfort warranty. No offshore shortcuts, just honest local value. Visit Best Mattress. Sleep local, sleep better.
All right, we're back on Sports Talk, Sports Talk Media Network. Phil Kornblut along with Chris Bergen and the plumber Josh Cohen, 888-898-2525. Now, this today felt more like South Carolina November weather. Kind of made me want to get down to the beach and take the clubs and reunite myself with my birdies and pars. That will happen in the not-too-distant future. But I want to suggest to you that you go ahead and make the call to Jimmy Smith at James Smith Real Estate and let him find you a great location to hang out at the beach so you can get out and chase those birdies and eagles with an occasional par thrown in. 843-237-4246 for your perfect beach getaway. 843-237-4246 online at pauliesvacationrentals.com. Be sure to give Jimmy a call. Let them handle all your lodging needs for your trip to the beach, be it for like a weekend or a week or longer than that. If you want to buy some property, they can help you out there as well. Make sure you give them a call. Again, that phone number, 843-237-4246. You were down at
earliest ever snow flurries here in the PD and on the beach on Monday.
Yeah. Like how many snowflakes did you have? We had like 12 in Columbia.
Yeah, we may have had 15. Now, not too far up the road, I saw pictures from Jefferson, which is, up the road from McBee and Hartsville. They actually had a dusting of snow that direction. I was talking to Mike and the guys from Winthrop last night, and they said they got some snow in Rock Hill, too, on Monday. So, crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, give you a few notes here, and our lines are open, 888-898-2525, and our text line is 803-900-4847, brought to you by Larry Lucas Insurance in Columbia and Lexington. Be sure to call Larry at 803-799-1998 for all of your insurance needs. So, redshirt junior forward Christ Esendako, unavailable for tonight's game for South Carolina. He's got a right thumb sprain and a left quad contusion. So he's not going to play tonight against PC. The 2026 spring race at Darlington will have a 3 o'clock start on FS1. The Southern 500 will have a 5 o'clock start on the USA Network, as today NASCAR released the start times for those races in 2026 across all divisions. Labor Day weekend's not going to be, it's going to be late. It's not going to be till like September 5th September 6th in 2026, unlike this past year when it was early.
Right.
So, with South Carolina winning the women's basketball game last night, the Gamecocks pick up a point in the Palmetto series. It's their first full point this year in the rivalry. Clemson leads 2-1 with one tie. 2-1-1 is the series. And next up will be football on November 29th. And, starting next week, we'll start to spend a lot of time talking about that South Carolina-Clemson game in Columbia. Will this be the year that South Carolina ends the streak of the home team losing? Last time the home team won in this series would have been 2018. 2018,
wow,
Clemson, because 2019 Clemson won in Columbia. They didn't play in 2020. 2021, Clemson won in Columbia. 2022, USC won up there. 2023, Clemson won in Columbia. Last year, USC won up there. So, yeah, you got to go back to 2018 with a noon kickoff as well. I mean, that might favor the visiting team.
Yeah, very possible. It did last year, and it's fascinating starting to fall into that Coastal Carolina Georgia State series where the home team can't ever win, and it's almost inexplicable. You would think with the two home field advantages that both those universities have, that winning at home would be a whole lot easier than going on the road to win, but that's not been the case here. Gosh, almost an entire decade.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Speaking of Coastal and South Carolina coming up next week in Columbia, Coastal could be in a very interesting situation if the Chanticleers win at Georgia Southern Saturday. I guess they're favored to win. What a turnaround! That would make Coastal 7-3 with one loss in the Sun Belt, and in 2 weeks you've got the showdown with James Madison. Assuming you beat Georgia Southern, you'll have the showdown with James Madison for the division title and a spot in the championship game, which of course is the most important thing. That's huge.
Sure.
So how does Tim Beck and the coaching staff approach the South Carolina game if that's the scenario?
Well, I think they'll obviously. I mean, it's a great opportunity for Coastal, and legitimately, especially as we talked earlier in the week, Phil, if the Gamecocks lose at Texas A&M, that's going to be a team that has really nothing to play for outside of trying to beat Clemson and win the state championship. Well, just human nature tells you, they're not going to get up for Coastal. And the Chanticleers could be in a situation where they might come in and be able to surprise. I don't know that they win, but certainly could give South Carolina a whole lot more than the Gamecocks bargained for. And I think they would try and play to win it, but you're right. I mean, this is a scenario that's happened for Coastal football in the past. And it's the big negative to having a Power 4 type ball game like this right before your season finale. It'd be one thing if this were the end of the year or it was the first game of the year like the Virginia game was for Coastal. It's an entirely different mindset. But you're right. They win on Saturday at Georgia Southern. They're staring at the barrel of playing James Madison for a chance to win the Sun Belt East. And looking at the Sun Belt, I think for the most part, and Southern Miss has been very, very good under their new head coach who won the conference championship last year in Charles Huff and Marshall, and now they let him go for some reason, and he's at Southern Miss, and he might be able to win the Sun Belt Championship on the other division this year. But for the most part, the East Division, I think, has been a little bit better, and so that Coastal James Madison game is going to be huge. So, yeah, I don't envy Coach Beck and his staff trying to prepare for the Gamecocks, knowing that, God, we'd love to be able to beat those guys, but, yeah, we'd much prefer to be healthy so we can go beat James Madison the next week.
Didn't Coastal face that situation a few years ago? And, of course, they came in, played South Carolina, got blown out 70 to something, but weren't they kind of facing a bigger game the next week?
They were FCS playoffs. As a matter of fact, that's when Joe Moglia was still coaching back in the mid-2010s. I guess it was. I can't remember the exact date.
Yep.
And I think it was the actual last game of the year for Coastal. And so Joe Moglia looked at it and said, look, we're going to the FCS playoffs next week. We got a whole lot bigger fish to fry. We've got a chance to actually play for and win a national championship. So I'm not going to put any of my guys in harm's way. And for the most part, he didn't. And South Carolina did what they should have done against a team that's, just trying to go through the motions and get out of there healthy. And, yeah, it was 70-10. I think it was the final score.
Yeah,
I don't anticipate it would be this bad. next Saturday.
Ugly. And again, you have to also wonder, too, I mean, South Carolina, should the Gamecocks lose badly to Texas A&M, which they could. It could be ugly. You know, I'm thinking it might be ugly, but we'll see. I got to give it a little more thought. But how many players are going to check out after that game? You know, you're not going to a bowl game. You're not going to have a winning season. How many of them check out? Or is the culture, culture, this is where culture comes into play. Is the culture such that those players still want to play for the university? They still want to play for Shane Beamer, still want to play for Pride, still want to win the state championship, which would be the only trophy they can take home this year. So because they lost the trophy game to Missouri. They lose the A&M game. They lose a trophy game to A&M. So the only trophy still available to them would be the Palmetto Bowl. So, all right, let's go to –
And that was 2013, by the way, when Coastal and Carolina played in that scenario.
It's been a long time.
It has been.
A long time. Keith in Camden up with us next here on Sports Talk. Welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing great, Phil and Bergie. I hope you are too as well.
Yes, sir.
Doing great, Keith. Thank you.
Good. My main question is, I'm always optimistic, even though I may not sound like it at times. But Saturday's going to be a tough. It could be a long day. But my question is specifically to Bergie. Do you really? I mean, Coastal could be a good ball game. I was at that 70-10 ball game, but this thing could, it could end positive, or it could end pretty rough. What do you think about Coastal's overall? How well they stack up in 2 weeks? And I'll hang up, and y'all have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thanks, Keith. Appreciate it. I mean, Coastal, it's obviously South Carolina athlete for athlete, should be better and is better for the most part at most positions, if not across the board. But that being said, I mean, the way the Chanticleers can run the football has been remarkable here the last 4 games. As a matter of fact, they rushed for over 300 yards against Georgia State on Saturday. First time they'd done that since 2021. And they're playing with a lot of confidence, and their defense is a little unique. The more 3 down front, 3-3-5 type alignment that they play, and they've got what they call the dog, and that's going to be Zamarian Gordon, number 6, when Carolina fans get ready to watch Coastal. He's a hybrid safety linebacker and has done a terrific job, and they're starting to force turnovers. Coastal's not, one thing they have not done here this streak, Phil, is beat themselves. They were doing that earlier in the year. I mean, they were a minus, 11, I think it was, in the turnover margin after about 3 or 4 games. They have totally flipped that, and they're the least penalized team in the Sun Belt now and starting to force turnovers. So South Carolina is going to have to come out and play and beat them, because Coastal is not going to give them the game coming into next week. Now, again, Keith puts me in a bad position trying to analyze this down the middle. But from a situation that I think Coastal can compete, but gosh, you would think if South Carolina shows up and plays their A game, they're a better football team.
Yeah, that's the question. What kind of mindset is South Carolina going to have going into that game? All right, thanks for the phone call. Let's hit the break. When we come back, we'll hear from USC defensive coordinator Clayton White. He met with the media today and did not have anything from the offensive side. Coach D. Camillus, the special teams coordinator, also talked to the media today, but disappointing that we had nobody from the offensive side. No Sean Elliott, no Mike Furry. Would have been nice to have somebody there to talk about what's happening with the offense. Then again, maybe they just want to keep Texas A&M in the dark as long as possible about what they're cooking up. I mean, the Gamecocks going to go crazy? Are they going to go real fast? Are they going to run a bunch of trick plays and things like that? That's on the offense, not the defense. We'll talk defense.
Are you in the market for an auto loan? Move now. Get an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union by December 31st for a chance to win up to $25,000 toward your qualifying loan and a $5,000 deposit into your Loyalty Select account. And the best part? We'll be choosing monthly winners, so the earlier you get an auto loan, the more chances you have to win. Visit foundersfcu.com/auto to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required.
Hi, I'm Jim Corbett. I've been an attorney for more than 30 years. There's one thing I've learned about injury cases. It's you need the personal touch. You need the lawyer to get to know you and describe your damages. You don't want a case manager talking to an insurance company and then talking to you and then talking to maybe to a lawyer with limited experience at the last minute to try to settle a case. I talk to you. I find out what your case is about. Jim at JimCorbettAttorney.com. Jim at JimCorbettAttorney.com for your injury cases.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot. And the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
Okay, we're back. Sports Talk Media Network on a Wednesday night. Phil Kornblut, Chris Bergen, and the Plumber. Phone number 888-898-2525. South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to reach us here on Sports Talk. In just a moment, some comments from South Carolina defensive coordinator Clayton White, who spoke with the media earlier today, and we're going to hear from that as soon as I find the audio. Did you find the audio? I thought I did not put it in?
No, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Well, where'd it go?
Couldn't tell you.
Hang on a second.
It's lost in the abyss.
These things happen. I tell you what. Why don't you go to
I can find it off of
SoundCloud.
Yes, that's where I was going.
Go there and get it from Sound. I don't know where it went. It's gone. It's truly gone. So I tell you what, while we do that, let's do the recruiting report here on Sports Talk. We can always find that. I got that at my fingertips. So the recruiting report on Sports Talk is brought to you by Seawells. Don't forget the daily luncheon buffet. Not tomorrow. Closed for a special event tomorrow. Back at it on Friday. Of course, you already had a roast beef day this week. So, but they got a great menu for Friday. So make sure you check it out from 11 till 2 at Seawells, right there on Rosewood Drive across from the Rocket at the State Fairgrounds. You will not be disappointed. And you need help with that special event requiring the best in the catering business. That is simply Seawells as well. 803-771-7385 connects you to them. 803-771-7385 online at SeawellsCateringSC.com. South Carolina, will they be looking for a kicker after this season? William Joyce has done a good job this year. He's 8 of 11 with a long of 49, but this is his last season. He's perfect on 21 extra points. He's a senior. Shane Beamer, special teams coordinator Joe DeCamillis. They got to figure out their plans for next season. They have a very good punter in Mason Love who can also place kick. They also have freshman Max Kelly in the program. So they might be satisfied with those two, fighting it out in the spring, or they could bring in more competition. One kicker DeCamillis apparently likes is Asher Holland of Durham, North Carolina. He's a teammate of Gamecock defensive tackle commitment Noah Clark. He kicked for DeCamillis in camp last summer. He's also been in this season for the Vanderbilt and Alabama games. And he said to us that DeCamillis tells him he likes what he sees from him. He thinks he has a good leg. He has the capability to play at the SEC level. But they want to see more of his season, how it plays out, to know how things are going to go. So he's just going to wait and see what happens with the Gamecocks and with their interest. North Carolina A&T just offered him, became his first offer. And he, of course, would love an offer from South Carolina. But he just wants to play Division I football. Doesn't really matter where he goes, he says. If South Carolina is where he ends up, he said that'd be nice. He's also been to Appalachian State for a game this season. In his 3-year career at Jordan High, he's 13 of 22 on field goals with a long of 45, 158 of 166 on extra points, and he's averaging averaging just under 40 yards per punt with a long of 56 yards. 2027, Lucy Beckham, offensive tackle, Ty Johnson, to visit Georgia Saturday. Of course, his dad played at Georgia. Clemson signed 6'6" Amari James of Marietta, Georgia. The Clemson women signed 6'2" Julia Scott of Nanuet, New York. 6'1" Trinity Jones of Bolingbrook, Illinois. 6'8" Diari Braddock of First Baptist. Make that 6'6". Did I say 6'8"? 6'6". Did I say 6'8"?
She might have grown.
Diari Braddock, 6'6", First Baptist. 5'9", Mia Green of Nashville. And 6 foot Kimora Fields of Cleveland, Tennessee. South Carolina women signed 6'2", Kaylee Wynn of Santa Clara, California. And 6'4", Kelsey Andrews of Hazel Green, Alabama. All right, there you go with the recruiting report for now here on Sports Talk. Now let's go to some comments from South Carolina defensive coordinator Clayton White as he took questions from the media.
A little off track.
As he took questions from the media.
You've seen your share of great mobile quarterbacks in this league. You practice against one every day. Where does Marcel Reed rank, and is there anything he does different than some of the other guys you've seen?
Yes, I think Marcel does. I mean, over the years past, I love giving respect to quarterbacks that I've seen that improve their game. I feel like Marcel has definitely done a great job of just trying to be more complete. And obviously when he takes off, he's definitely a threat that can take it all the way. He took one against, I think that was LSU for 50 plus. We got to do a great job of understanding his game and understanding how they like to use him, and definitely do a great job of understanding just type of player that he is and what he likes to do.
Kind of sticking in that same vein there, they run the RPO incredibly well, and of course their running attack is pretty efficient. What's kind of the challenge of almost playing, not maybe a guessing game, but staying disciplined whenever they do get into those and they have multiple threats on that play?
Yep, discipline definitely the key to the game in regards of, it's basically like option football. You have to really protect the run inside on the perimeter and also the perimeter passes and then the quarterback. So that, to me, that makes it feel like option football, and discipline and technique and understanding your initial assignment, I think, is the most important part. And then also understand that there are secondary things you have to read and react to. And we just have to be great at those fundamentals. Those are just base fundamentals, football, and just technique and understanding, read and react football, and leverage and angles and understanding where your teammates are. But you hit the key word with discipline, and I do believe that's going to be key.
Clayton, what was the main focus for you guys coming into the bye week of after that Ole Miss game, watching the tape, what you guys focus on in practice? What was just the main thing you guys were trying to focus on?
With us defensively, I think the main thing is we were just kind of focusing on finishing plays, and I think that we've been in places, we've had opportunities to really put out some really good defensive efforts, but we haven't just finished at the end of games and end of quarters and plays. I like how we're playing for the most part, but it's just like 2 plays at the end of each game right now. We can almost have some historic performances, but we just got to find a way to dig deeper as a football team and practice that way and meet that way and just kind of get in their brains a little bit, regardless of just like what we really can do as a football team. We kept us in a lot of games and just want to have a chance to win them at the end. But just mainly fundamentals and just really just some other stuff coaching-wise.
What are the keys of keeping at bay a receiver core as good as Texas A&M has?
What was the word you used?
How do you limit them?
There you go. How do we limit them? One, got to make sure we're matched up correctly. They do a lot of motions, so we can't, get confused on the motions. And they have a bunch of good receivers there. Obviously, they have 2 guys with over 40 catches, but the other 2 guys are really good as well. But we want to just do a great job of understanding where they are, and they do a really good job of moving 7-1 around a lot to make sure they get their touches. So that's the first thing, and we got to keep them in front. And we got to tackle them. They're unbelievable after the catch. Those 2 guys are. Great job of finding those 2 guys and getting them into their system. Two receivers with that kind of yak is dangerous, so we got to be great there.
J.O. has been a guy that seems like continue to come on in every game. What have you seen from him as he continues to improve, as well as Fred Johnson, both being second-year linebackers who are playing a lot? Yeah,
Fred is what he brings to the table is just he's very intelligent, one of the smartest guys. I'm not gonna stay in the building, but he's up there. So he can take a lot of information. He loves football. He loves the way he plays. He's very aggressive. He's a downhill linebacker. Great retention. That's all 3 of those guys are super smart in that way, and that's really fun to coach. And it's also fun to watch them coach other players. I think the main thing he does, he's aggressive. He's downhill. He likes to tackle. He likes contact. We got to make sure he keep his head up on most of his contacts so he can not getting dinged up with concussions and stuff, and his shoulders. But he has a great read and react ability. Love how he runs and he plays square for the most part. I think that's very important for a linebacker, and he uses his hands great.
All right, Clayton White, USC defensive coordinator. He does a great job year in and year out, Bergie. I'm just wondering when a head coaching opportunity is going to fall his way that will interest him.
It's a really good question because I think he's certainly worthy of it and deserving with the job he's done with the USC defense. And considering how the game has become so offensive, you would think a head coach like Mike Elko, for instance, a head coach with a defensive background is not a bad way to go.
And he presents himself well. He carries himself like a head coach. Okay, speaking of head coaches, they're coming up.
WQXL Columbia W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The White House is angry about a batch of Jeffrey Epstein emails released by House Democrats. More from White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
Democrats on the House Oversight Committee released emails from Epstein, the late sex offender. In one of the messages, Epstein wrote Donald Trump knew about the girls. An email from 2011 alleged that he had spent hours at Epstein's house with a sex trafficking victim. The president accused Democrats of trying to deflect from their political failures, and White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the emails were selectively leaked to smear President Trump. Greg Clugston, Washington.
As President Trump urges Israel to pardon Benjamin Netanyahu, concern is growing over U.S. influence over Israel.
President Donald Trump has called on his Israeli counterpart to end Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's ongoing corruption trial. In a letter, Trump asked President Isaac Herzog to grant Netanyahu a pardon and to halt what he called a political prosecution. This isn't the first time that Trump has tried to influence this case on behalf of his friend Netanyahu. He made a similar call in a speech to Israel's parliament last month. This case has bitterly divided the Israeli public. Trump believes that a pardon would help the nation heal and allow Netanyahu to unite the country behind him.
Correspondent Joe Fetterman reporting. House lawmakers are making a long-awaited return to potentially end the longest federal government shutdown in U.S. history. Speaker Mike Johnson is predicting that the House later Wednesday will pass the bill to reopen the government and send it to President Trump's desk for his signature. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 326 points, the Nasdaq dropped 61. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Every day I speak with people who are worried and are feeling a lot of pressure because of credit card debt. That's why I'm very proud of what we do at Trinity. We just help. We give people the support they need, along with a real plan to become debt-free. Credit card bills are consolidated into a single monthly payment that is much less than what they were paying before. Most of our members end up saving thousands and even may improve their credit scores by as much as 200 points. I know from the bottom of my heart that I'm making a difference in the lives of the people we help. It just makes me really happy.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Julie, and I'm a Trinity counselor. Call me and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
MSNBC enters the Hall of Retired Corporate Names this weekend, with the network formally switching over to MS Now. Bob Agnew reports.
It's all part of the corporate divorce from NBC News. NBC Universal's parent company, Comcast, spun most of its cable networks off into a new company, primarily because cable networks are not seen right now as desirable in the new media world. Now the once powerful MSNBC finds itself embracing the ethos of a startup. The network's lineup remains the same, but it has built a new studio and hired a new reporting staff. Bob Agnew reports.
Anthropic has announced a $50 billion investment in computing infrastructure, including new data centers in Texas and New York. Microsoft also announced a new data center in Atlanta, Georgia, connected to another in Wisconsin, forming a massive supercomputer. News and analysis at townhall.com. Pakistan is
on point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. We are clear, but not as chilly this evening, with a low temperature dropping to 40. Tomorrow, more the same as we are enjoying today. Plentiful sunshine to go with a high up to 69. That sunshine continues all the way into the weekend. We'll keep getting warmer, too. Friday, we're at 70, while Saturday and Sunday, we climb all the way to the upper 70s. There is no rain in the forecast for the next week or so. I'm Cal Moss with your on-point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make The Point Radio.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. You can reach the guys with the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number, 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now back to Phil and Chris with the second hour of Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network.
All right, good to have you with us on this Wednesday night. We come to you from Columbia and from Sardis, and they're underway at the Colonial Life Arena, and Presbyterian is off to a 2-1 start on South Carolina. The Gamecocks red hot in their shooting the other night from 3. They're off to an 0-5 start. See, you live by the 3, you die by the 3.
And I was watching some of that, Phil, just a minute ago. Carolina had an easy layup at the rim almost. A little traffic there from PC, but they declined that shot to kick it out to a 3 in the corner. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think they have fallen way too much in love with three-point shot here early in the season.
That's 5 3-point attempts in less than 3 minutes. They're 1 for 7 from the floor. PC's only taken one shot, and they made it. So, but the Gamecocks have now gone up 3-2. We'll keep an eye on that and coverage after the game is over on our website, SportsTalkSC.com. All right, it's time now to get down and dirty with some elegant football talk here on Sports Talk as we welcome in two of the greatest football minds to ever walk a sideline here in South Carolina.
Get ready for a deep dive into the X's and O's. This is Chalk Talk with coaches Chuck Reedy and Ellis Johnson on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Yep. Two men who could take theirs and beat yours. Two men who could take yours and beat theirs. I think that's the greatest compliment you can pay any kind of coach. We welcome in, of course, Coach Chuck Reedy. Great to have him with us. And joining us just off the set of The Golden Bachelor, it is Coach Ellis Johnson. You know, there's a guy on there who is the guy who's a former football player, Ellis. He looks kind of like you. I could see where you could go on that show and have some luck.
I think the most profound statement is that you watch that show.
Actually, I don't, but I'm forced to, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean, I'm forced to glance at it. Yeah. But every time I hear
what you're glancing at.
Every time I hear the word Golden Bachelor, your face comes to mind. So anyway, Coach Reedy, how are you?
I'm doing great, Phil. I'm glad that I'm not a Golden Bachelor.
You're just golden, but you're not a bachelor. You're just golden. All right, great to have y'all with us once again. Chris Bergen's here as well, and the plumber. So let's get into it. Let's start with Clemson, guys, since they had the game this past weekend. And Chuck, offensively, what'd you think?
I thought it was two average football teams, and just which one was going to make the most mistakes. And Florida State did, turned it over twice, dropped some passes. Clemson did enough to win the game. Didn't have any turnovers. Still couldn't run the football. I think the two tailbacks, had 25 carries for 87 yards against a defense that's not very good. Klubnik, was solid. Didn't turn the ball over. Made the throws that he needed to make. So it was a good win for Clemson. They're still right where they've been. They got to get a couple more wins.
So you're not warm and fuzzy over the Tigers' performance?
No, I'm not.
I mean, good enough to beat Louisville?
Well, I don't know. I mean, California beat Louisville at Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Louisville certainly is beatable. Now, the running back didn't play. He's the guy that ran for about 150 yards last year against Clemson as a freshman. So, I don't know what his status is, but this will be the toughest game probably that they have left. Maybe South Carolina, who knows? But this is a big one for them because if they get this one, then that'll basically make them bowl eligible.
Yeah. All right, Ellis. How about the Tigers defensively? What'd you see?
Well, there was improvement from Duke, that's for sure, but that's a pretty low bar. I always thought 24 first downs is a really solid game for an offense. Under 20, you're deficient. They held them to 19 first downs. And Gus Malzahn running their offense and running the ball has always been their thing, and they didn't run it very well. They got 110 yards, but they didn't make a living on it, that's for sure. And they got those turnovers that Chuck was talking about. So you got to give the defense some credit. I think they definitely carried a little bit, probably heavier weight on the whole ball game, but it was certainly an improvement from Duke.
The coverage, they were fortunate. There were some drops, and an overthrow in particular comes to mind when a receiver got behind the secondary, but they didn't really allow the big pass. They had some catches and yards after catch. And again, they caught some breaks with some key drops. But did you see improvement from a coverage standpoint?
I see some issues about that still, Phil. You mentioned why very early in the game that one of Gus's kind of signature routes is a double post and a wheel coming from the backfield like a three-man flood to the boundary.
Mm-hmm.
And it is hard to be accountable on that. But you turn loose the guy on the lowest route if you're outnumbered. And boy, a guy either dropped it or overthrew, I can't remember, but that could have been a touchdown. It was about a 15-yard catch, if it was a catch, but then it was green grass everywhere. I think the reason they were able to handle the passing game is they did a good job on the quarterback. And he had his times where he got loose and, was a headache at times. But Castellano can really take over a game if you don't keep him hemmed up. And I thought they did a little bit better job of getting pressure without trying to take kill shots on him all day, because if you try to get the sack on him, that's when he gets out and gets into the perimeter and hurts you even worse.
Yeah. Klubnik was pretty sharp, Chuck, and he's been in the 4 games that he's played. He missed the SMU game, but in the 4 games he's started since October 1 through the Florida State game, he's posted some very impressive numbers. I think he's he's got the third highest quarterback rating of anybody in the country over that span.
Yeah, he's been I think he's done a really good job. Had a slow start early in the year. He had some games where he wasn't real sharp, but no, I think he's played really well.
I think their receivers have played well. Even without Wesco, I mean they're Antonio Williams has really stepped up the last few ball games. But no, I think their passing game has been fine. It's still the same thing. They just can't run the football.
Let me ask you, away from the ball game, Chuck and Ellis, I don't think you were at Clemson with this individual, but maybe your paths had crossed. But the passing of Bubba Brown on Monday, Chuck, you were there with him, and I just remember him as a tackling machine and just a great football player. What are your memories about him?
Yeah, Bubba was a fine young man, and he was undersized. I mean, probably 5'11", 205 or 10 pounds. I mean, he wasn't a big guy at all, but he was all over the field. I mean, he was he still has the record at Clemson for tackles, which tells you something. And the '79 defense when he was a senior, was a great defensive football team. I mean, we were really, really good on defense. And, he was, he and Jim Stuckey and some of the other guys, but, he was the guy that was, like I said, all over the field making tackles. And, he's been in bad health for a long time, had kidney disease and just a lot of other things, so, it's, we hate to hear that. He was a really outstanding young man.
Yeah, Ellis, did you ever run across him from a playing? I don't know, any chance at all you ran across him?
Oh yeah, well, not really as far as a personal meeting him and all this kind of thing.
Yeah,
but I would spend a lot of time over at Clemson during those years as a high school coach, working camp or coming over for a game or two, and remembering very well. I'm trying to think, Chuck, if Les coached him any before he graduated. I'm not sure he did. But what I thought was special about him, they had some guys come along right after him that were really talented guys. We had to play in the NFL, Jeff Davis, and I can't remember, the JUCO kid, Chuck, played linebacker.
Johnny
Rembert.
Yeah.
And so there were some more talented kids came along after him, and as Chuck just said, he still holds the record for tackles.
Chuck, I think of the modern era, shall we say, the last 15, 20 years, one Clemson linebacker that comes to mind along those same lines would be Keith Adams.
Yeah. I mean, not a big guy. He was probably, 215 or so, 220. And there was a time when the linebackers were 230, 240, whatever. But actually in today's game, you need guys that don't have to be that big, but they got to be able to run. And Keith Adams was that kind of guy.
They're termites. He just made plays. Guys just made plays all over the field. All right, this is Chuck Reedy, Ellis Johnson. It's Chalk Talk here on Sports Talk. After the break, we're going to break down South Carolina's open week and things going on around that program as they get ready to go to Texas A&M. We'll get the coach's view of the Aggies and what the Gamecocks are stepping into at Kyle Field. They know what they're stepping into. Can they step up and be and listen, they've been competitive every single week. That's the one thing that they can hang their hat on is they've been right there. Can they do the same thing with these guys? We'll get the thought to the coaches after the break.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosseller-Brown. Did you know Lawyer Lisa offers a prevention plan add-on to our services? If you already have a trust or just need some updates, ask about getting your ducks in a row and getting all of your wishes set out before it's needed. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
This is Perry Orth, former South Carolina quarterback. On the field, my job was simple. Read the defense, protect the ball, and give my team the best chance to win. Off the field, at Moultrie Insurance, our job is no different. Help protect your business from the risks that you don't see coming, so you can focus on moving the ball forward. Just like a good quarterback, we anticipate challenges, call the right plays, and keep you protected. Trust Moultrie Insurance to cover your blind side and keep your business in the game. Visit MoultrieINS.com today.
One lottery ticket makes a big difference for our state students. And when I say big, I mean bigger than jackpot big. Since 2002, South Carolina students have benefited from more than $6 billion in lottery-funded scholarships and grants, including the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. With every lottery play, you're supporting our students, and that adds up in a big way. That's why education is our middle name. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports, all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina. Like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Mark Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
When South Carolina's best high school football players take the field at the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, they're backed by a powerful team of their own. As proud title sponsors, your local co-ops celebrate more than just a game. It's a tradition where talent shines, where teamwork matters, and where community spirit takes center stage. Don't miss the 78th Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, December 13th at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium in Myrtle Beach, powered by your electric cooperative.
We continue Chalk Talk. Coach Reedy, Coach Johnson. Before we get to the Gamecocks, Coach Reedy, I do want to take exception. In my thinking as an offensive coordinator, for my years of running offenses, or just being offensive, I'm just offensive. Never run an offense, I'm just offensive. No, I know Clemson didn't run for a lot of yards in total, but they had some effective runs against Florida State. Sometimes can you just have some effective runs that make you play the run and keep the defense honest, but you don't necessarily run for 150, 200 yards. You might run for, as they did, 91 yards, but they had some effective runs in there to make Florida State play the run.
Well, I guess that's one way to look at it. And they did. Randall had some. He did have some good runs.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not consistent running the football. And that you look back at the season up to this point, they just haven't been a good running football team. And probably the biggest disappointment on their offense has been their offensive line. They had 4 starters coming back. I mean, you thought they were going to be an offensive line that could control the line of scrimmage, protect the quarterback, and be able to run the football, and they just haven't been able to do that.
Do you think sometimes things happen and they turn out to be a major positive because of the injuries? The freshman Braden Jacobs now starting at left guard. I mean, he's huge. He's 6'7", 340. Right. And you got a big left tackle. If you're Clemson, do you just power up on the left side and run behind those guys?
Well, you can try to do that. I mean, it's not that simple, but and he's a specimen, and he's got really quick feet. I mean, he's going to be a really good player without a doubt. But he is still a freshman. And there's playing the offensive line is probably the hardest position to play on the football field, football team. And it's hard to play as a freshman. But he's a big physical guy, and he's going to be a really, really good player.
Ellis, if you were coordinating a defense against me as an offensive coordinator, how many points would I score against you?
I'd have to go back and check that high school career. Was it wherever you go in Clio?
Ladder.
Back B. Where was
Ladder.
Ladder. Oh, hell, I take it back. Ladder was pretty good. I take everything back.
I had nothing to do with that. Clio, their nickname, by the way, at one time, Clio, their nickname was the Midgets. Yeah.
I had a platoon leader at Centerville from Clio, so whatever he said, I said, yeah, that's good, that's good.
They became the Cavaliers. They were the Midgets. Okay, Ellis, what about Clayton White and the defense facing this Texas A&M offense Saturday over at Kyle Field, a high-flying, wide-open, triple option type offense? What do you do?
Well, I don't think you make any major changes or reinvent the wheel. I mean, they just got to keep trying to do what they do and keep doing it better. They've had plenty of games where they've played well enough to win against good SEC opponents this year. The thing that worries me the most is that A&M's really getting better on defense lately, and I think Elko, the head coach, may be calling it now. It just looks like the last 2-3 weeks he's calling defenses, not just suggesting stuff. And then the quarterback, Marcel Reed, he's a good little athlete. He's a good player, but he is really not a great, he's not a national championship level quarterback. But he's been taking care of the ball better lately, and he's gotten better in maybe the last 3 games. And so as a combination, offensive line, when they get cranked up, son, they will wear you out. And the bad matchup for the Gamecocks is they're not very good against the run. And the bad matchup, the problem with that is that A&M's got a heck of an offensive line. And I don't know, I guess it'll come down to how many times Carolina can get off the field without long possessions and give their offense a chance. Because A&M's had a few games now. I mean, Arkansas, not long ago, had a, it was 45-42 game. And they gave up 25 points to LSU, who is a bad offensive team this year. And so they've had their times when they've gone out and not been all that dominant on defense. But the thing that makes their defense so good is their offense stays on the field.
And, Chuck, they did win at Missouri. Missouri was playing with a freshman quarterback. And Missouri, they broke some runs right up the middle on that Texas A&M defense. Of course, they have a great running back in Hardy. He can make it happen. But do you think South Carolina could do some of the same?
No, I don't. Missouri is a really good running football team now. I mean, they're a physical team. They run the ball on just about everybody. I haven't seen that from South Carolina all year, so I wouldn't expect all of a sudden we're going to have a great running game. It's going to be interesting to see what changes they've made. You can't, in 2 weeks you're not going to, change your whole offense. Obviously, I'm sure there'll be some new things they'll put in, what have you, with a new play caller and all those things. But you still got the same players, and it just depends. Lenore Sellers could go out and have a great game, and they could score some points, and A&M turn the ball over, and they could win the game. But they're going to have a lot of help.
So, not knowing anything about what Mike Furry is going to do, calling plays, is that an advantage for South Carolina in some way, at least in the early portions of the game?
Well, I guess so. I don't, I don't know that that's necessarily the case. I think there's a misconception about coordinators. You got an offensive coordinator, but every staff I've ever been on, it's a group effort. I mean, you've got all the coaches in there. You develop the game plan as a group, and then you come out of there with the game plan. It's not just some offensive coordinator that's going in there and making a game plan by himself and deciding all these things by himself. So, you blame Mike Shula and you fire Mike Shula, but everybody in that room has contributed to the offense this year, including the head coach. So, what you've had is what you've got. And, I don't see that there'll be a whole lot of change.
Ellis, you look for a long day for the Gamecocks in College Station?
Y'all have already kind of stated it. Carolina's good enough in some positions to be a headache for anybody in the SEC on any given day. They've not played well enough to make you think that they're going to go out there and all of a sudden, the light's going to flip on. I do think their matchups, A&M's front, although statistically they ain't been real good on defense this year, they've been decent. And lately, they've been better, and I still think Elko's calling it now. But that matchup up front, I'm very concerned about Lenore's, the amount of time the pressure he's going to get, the amount of times he gets hit. And I told you on the other side, I just think their offensive line matchup on South Carolina's defensive front is a very big concern. So anything's possible. I think they've got a huge obstacle in front of them.
Yeah, Texas A&M has gained over 400 total yards in each of the last 8 games, 3 straight games with 200-plus yards rushing and receiving, and tied for the national lead with 34 sacks, including 2+ sacks in 8 straight games. So, yeah, that could be a lot of hurt.
They're aggressive, man. They do. They take chances, and they don't worry about things at top and get out in the perimeter. They're coming after the quarterback. I mean, it's the way it is.
Chuck, should the Gamecocks just take their shots deep and hope for the best?
Well, yeah, I mean, they need to take some for sure. You know, I mean, some of the best things they've done this year is the deep throws to Harbor. You know, and certainly you want to take some of those, but you know, you can't live by that.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to remember now, it does take time when you're throwing deep balls. So, you know, I mean, that's a double-edged sword there. I mean, you know, yeah, you want to throw it deep, but you know, if you're going to throw it deep, you better be able to protect. And like Ellis has said, that's going to be a problem.
Guys, fantastic as always. We appreciate you. Have a great week. Enjoy the week. Sounds like you got your YouTube or something working there, Ellis. You're able to watch the games.
So no, I'll tell you what, the best sports news I heard this week was that Disney lost about $30 million first weekend when they cut YouTube. I had to go buy another outfield, and I had to get somebody to help me turn it on.
All right, good luck this week. Chuck, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You guys are the best. Thank you, Ellis. Ellis has gone out. He's streaming now, Bergie. Ellis Johnson, the streamer.
Look at him. Mr. Technology now.
The Golden Bachelor has learned how to stream. Amazing. 26-12, South Carolina over PC. Be right back.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. We are clear, but not as chilly this evening with a low temperature dropping to 40. Tomorrow, more the same as we are enjoying today. Plentiful sunshine to go with a high up to 69. That sunshine continues all the way into the weekend. We'll keep getting warmer, too. Friday, we're at 70, while Saturday and Sunday, we climb all the way to the upper 70s. There is no rain in the forecast for the next week or so. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
At Palmetto State Armory, we offer the largest selection of guns and ammunition at unbeatable prices. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff are here to provide personalized assistance, ensuring you find exactly what you need. If you enjoy outdoor activities like hunting, camping, or hiking, our clothing and outdoor gear collection has got you covered. We also feature an exceptional indoor range facility where you can experience the thrill of shooting in a safe and controlled environment. Visit us today at PalmettoStateArmory.com or your local retail store. Palmetto State Armory, American made for life.
Annually and with SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump has urged Israel to pardon Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in a corruption case. Trump called the case a political unjustified prosecution in a letter to Israeli President Isaac Herzog on Wednesday. Herzog acknowledged the letter but said a formal request is needed for a pardon. A federal appeals court has heard arguments about a spending law that stopped Medicaid reimbursements for Planned Parenthood, the nation's largest abortion provider. The law passed in July and targets organizations that provide abortions and receive over $800,000 annually in Medicaid reimbursements. On Wall Street, the Dow by 326 points, the Nasdaq dropped 61. More details at srnnews.com.
November is Veterans Month at Palmetto State Armory. For the entire month of November, veterans, first responders, and active military personnel will receive 10% off of all purchases. Also, in honor of Veterans Month, proceeds from range time purchases will be donated to Operation Patriot's Fob to support their mission of helping veterans and first responders connect through outdoor and recreational activities. Palmetto State Armory, American made for life.
When your pipes panic, Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning steps right in, fast and friendly. Josh and his team aren't just fixing leaks, they're restoring your peace of mind. This is when you're at your most vulnerable. You got a problem, you need a solution. They're not coming out to upsell you or talk you into something new this or new that. You'll appreciate their process. They'll tell you what needs to get done and what it'll cost before they ever even bring in their tools to start the work. They're locally owned, which unfortunately is no longer the norm in the Midlands. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning will treat every home like their own. They've done work for me, for my brother, countless numbers of Point listeners. Dial 799-2222 or visit franklinplumbing.sc.com and you tell them Kev from The Point sent you. You will experience plumbing that's more than just a fix. It's a solution from people who care about their work and stand by it. When you need them, please don't panic. Just call Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning, 799-2222.
At Team One Sudduth Automotive on Millwood Avenue, we make caring for your car effortless, day or night. Enjoy our easy drop-off even after business hours. From oil changes to full engine overhauls, our certified technicians handle it all the right way with a 2-year, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty. Plus, it's easy to book an appointment. Go online right now, team1automotive.com. You can pick the time that fits your schedule best. Team One Sudduth Automotive, where reliable, transparent service meets your convenience.
Hey y'all, my name's Ted from Flight Deck Restaurant. With the holidays approaching, people are looking for places to hold large parties. Flight Deck Restaurant has what you need. We have 4 different rooms that can accommodate groups from 12 all the way to 120 people. As long as you eat dinner with us, Flight Deck does not charge a rental fee for the room. Flight Deck Restaurant can accommodate wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, Christmas parties, birthday parties, anniversary parties, civic organizations that need to have a regular place to meet. Flight Deck Restaurant is a full-service restaurant and we can provide audio-visual equipment. Please consider Flight Deck Restaurant in Lexington. Thanks y'all and God bless.
Want to hear my success story? I'm Fran Halloran, the money coach. I'm celebrating a decade of partnering with The Point. It's one of the best decisions I ever made. I've used The Point to significantly grow my small business. It started with a meeting with Kevin Cohen. Do you own a small business? Are you on a limited budget? No problem. Reach out to Kev at 563-8558. Get a customized plan and start your journey to business growth with The Point today. Success is one call away. Take the leap.
All right, thanks again to Chuck Reedy and Ellis Johnson. Great stuff from them as always here on Sports Talk. 30-15, South Carolina leading PC, 5:37 to go in the opening half. South Carolina at 39%, PC at 32%. Gamecocks are 3 of 9 from 3, and PC is 0 of 2 from 3. USC winning the boards by 9. They have 10 offensive rebounds and 7 second chance points. So, Berg, I know you're keeping an eye on the game. That's probably a big difference right there, the rebounding.
Well, that and the fact it looks like Lamont Paris had to come to, Weird Jeep's meeting the other day with his team about playing defense because they have been all over Presbyterian. I mean, PC has been lucky to get an open pass, much less an open shot. But, yeah, Carolina flexing its muscle with his size and, an 8 rebound edge already, and we're barely just over midway point through the first half. But yeah, good looking first half for the Gamecocks for sure, despite and I say porous, that's really not fair, but 3 of 9 shooting from 3-point range. Most teams would probably settle for about 3 of 9, 4 of 9, but the Gamecocks, I think, want to make a few more than those.
Yeah, Shara Jamps, he's got 6, and the freshman Polk, he's got 6 to lead the Gamecocks. Okay. We're going to hear from Clemson offensive tackle Tristan Lee coming up here in just a little bit and go through some more text messages as well. One of our great sponsors here on Sports Talk is the South Carolina Beef Council. Joining us now is the chairman of the South Carolina Beef Council, our good buddy, John Fogle. And Mr. Fogle, great to have you with us again tonight here on Sports Talk. How are you?
I'm very well, and thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure because I know when we talk to you, we're talking about something we all love, and that's good, delicious South Carolina-grown beef.
Yes, sir. The very best, the very best.
How's it going this year around the state from a beef standpoint?
Well, our cattle numbers are down. Our cattle farmers are down. However, prices are up, and you may not have known that our beef cattle numbers are down to where they were 75 years ago, but our population has grown significantly and placed a demand on good beef.
Why is it down so much?
We've had a number of issues going out west with drought and fire and other items like that, and that increase in prices as a lot of older farmers just decided to retire because the price was right, the time was right, and they just decided to get out of the business. But a number of contributing factors inside of that has caused this decrease in the cattle numbers and the cattle producers.
Do you expect that number to turn around at some point and it kind of get back to where it was?
I do. With the prices coming up, I think it will encourage a lot of younger farmers that may be working for someone else to go out on their own, and that's a real possibility.
Like when you look at the students at Clemson, which of course a large part of Clemson is the agricultural side of their curriculum, the kids that are going through there, are they choosing to go the beef route, or are they going more onto the land side of things, so to speak, growing plants and vegetables and stuff like that, other crops, or are you finding that you're having a good young influx of graduates heading to the beef side of things?
Fortunately, these younger folks coming out of Clemson and other land-grant universities are looking at a diversified farm, which includes maybe row crops, vegetables, and also cattle. Cattle fit right in with the program, whether it be corn, wheat, cotton, strawberries. Cattle fit well in with a diverse program. So we're hoping that as these young people come out and begin their farming operation, they'll seriously look at the beef side. And one of the things that has helped us is the Clemson Veterinary School, which will take their first class next year.
What's that going to mean to the state?
Hopefully that will increase the number of veterinarians in the state of South Carolina. Right now it is hard to find a veterinarian that will look at large animals, whether it be equine or cattle or things like that. The larger animals are harder to find a veterinarian for, and Clemson has stepped in with their new program, and hopefully that's going to grow a lot of South Carolina veterinarians.
That's good news. Talking with John Fogle, chairperson of the South Carolina Beef Council. The beef, the stock around the state of South Carolina from a health standpoint, have you guys been able to avoid any of the illnesses, diseases out there that can strike the cattle industry?
Well, I think right now we're kind of behind the eight ball with the New World screwworm that is fast approaching Texas. And from what I understand, once it hits Texas, that we can count 30 days in each state before it hits South Carolina. Unfortunately, we are not able to combat that at this time, and that is you beat that fly with sterile male flies, and we just cannot produce them fast enough to stop the influx right now.
So what will you do? What does that mean?
We have a number of insecticides that would be able to control these pests. You have to keep a daily check on your animals. Mm-hmm. What that fly does is attracted to blood, whether it be a cut or you may not be familiar with a horsefly, but when a horsefly bites, it brings blood to the surface. So any time that animal or human really is exposed to that fly and has a situation of a cut, a scratch, or something like that, they're susceptible to this New World screwworm.
Wow. Well, let's hope that doesn't have a huge impact here in the state. Right now, where are the largest the largest cattle farms in South Carolina, where would you cite those?
Probably Saluda County. Saluda County is well known as a beef producer. They have a growing livestock sale barn over there, but we also have a number of outstanding sale barns in the state. But population-wise, around Saluda, Greenwood, up in that area, there are some outstanding cattle producers in that area.
And what'd you have for dinner tonight?
You would ask that. I had a hamburger steak with onions.
Always love a good hamburger steak. Let me ask you this question. I love a T-bone. I'm a T-bone guy. You know, you got your sirloins, you got your fillets, you got your ribeyes, but I love a T-bone. Why is the T-bone so good?
Any cut of South Carolina beef is going to be good. However, a T-bone is a great cut, and you do have that loin in the middle that is tender, and you've also got that comes from the tenderest part of the cow, the upper cuts. The ribeye and the T-bone, in my book, are tied
as the best. Bergie, what's your favorite?
My favorite is a ribeye.
You like the ribeye. How about you, Bergie?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say probably the filet.
You like the filet?
I'll go. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just like to gnaw on the bone.
I understand,
Mr. Fogel. I'm a bone gnawer, I guess you would say. I like to chew on the
Aren't
bone.
we all?
Yeah, love that. Love that. All right, give us your what's your go-to sauce this year? Have you got a new one, or you got a standby? What's your go-to sauce?
Right now, I'm with the Grill Mates seasoning and soy sauce. I'm letting it stay in the refrigerator for approximately 2 hours before I cook, and I bring that out and put it on my charcoal grill, and I'm the envy of my brothers.
Now, no gas for you, strictly charcoal. Mr. Fogel? Did we lose him? I think we might have lost.
Charcoal cooked steak.
There you go. No gas, strictly charcoal?
I will use gas, yes.
Yeah. But your best flavor is coming off that charcoal.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, you have a great week, and enjoy all the steaks you're going to cook out there. And one day I got to get with you and have a steak that's cooked by you. I bet you it's top of the line.
You can bank on it. I think I'm pretty good at it.
There you go. Well, that's why you're the chairman. They don't put somebody up there that can't handle it. So thank you so much for being with us, and thank you to the Beef Council for being part of our coverage here on Sports Talk football season. And great having you with us. We'll talk to you again. Have a great week.
Thanks, John.
And thank you for promoting beef.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. It's one of our favorite
Thank you.
things. That's John Fogel, Chairman, South Carolina Beef Council. That's a tough job, Bergie,
Oh,
being
my gosh.
a rancher, being a beef grower, I guess you'd say.
I love farmers, and I'm glad there's somebody in our state and across the country that does that work, because that is hard work, and that's a labor of love. There's no question.
It's in their blood, and so many things that you have to deal with for sure. All right, thanks to Mr. Fogel. Back after the break.
This is Major Billy Downer with the Department of Natural Resources, and I've got a message for all of our hunters out there. Whether you're on the water or going hunting on land, always tell someone where you're going. Be specific and tell them when you plan to return. Plan your hunt and hunt your plan. For more information on hunter education, visit dnr.sc.gov or join us on Wednesday nights for SC Wild.
Download the free Go Outdoors SC app from SCDNR, buy licenses, report harvests, and carry everything digitally right on your phone. Go Outdoors SC.
In Columbia, South Carolina, game days are our specialty. Whether you're watching the game from inside the stadium or from the big screen at your favorite local spot, the energy remains the same. Craft the perfect fall Saturday in a city where there is plenty of action on and off the field. From tubing and kayaking to Soda City to rooftop restaurants and plenty barbecue. We're ready when you are. Plan your weekend at experiencecolumbiasc.com.
Traveling can be the worst, especially when you can't find your favorite show. Well, don't worry, we've got the perfect way to keep up with everything happening in the Palmetto State when you're away from home. Just pull up the Chief Sports app on your mobile device, and you can listen live to Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network.
So the next time you can't find us on one of our great radio affiliates, just log on to the Chief Sports app, the best way to stay connected with the Sports Talk Media Network.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
You've put in the work for your education. The extra early, extra late, extra work. That's because you understand education opens doors to better pay, better opportunities, and a better you. Being educated about playing the lottery is no different. It helps you be a better player, one who knows when to play and when to take a rain check. The lottery's a game, so let's keep it fun. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Wide open, somebody pour me a drink, somebody bum me a smoke. I'm about to get on a buzz, I'm about to get on a roll. Yeah, I've been breaking my back, just keeping up with
All right, South Carolina up on PC, 41-22 at the half. 2 of 11 PC. Down the stretch, shooting just 28%. South Carolina's got that one well in hand at this point. And also, it is Upstate leading Bob Jones in the first half, 23-13. Let's go to Matthias down in Charleston next with us here on Sports Talk. Good evening, Matthias. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Phil.
Yes, sir.
Wanted to call in first and foremost. I'm a Clemson fan down here in Charleston, and I made the drive up to Columbia for the women's game last night. Wasn't happy with the result, but I did go up early to visit Seawells to support the station and your sponsor and on your recommendation. And I'll say it was great. We had the roast beef, loved it. Went back for 3 plates, and I will be back.
Oh, so you had the roast beef. Good for you.
I did.
I was hoping. I wanted to go there, Matthias, but I was a little too skimpy. I got there. I was around there at 1:45, and I didn't want to get there too late.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking for all three of y'all, hoping I would run into some royalty, but and I did tell her you sent me. But either way, the meal was great.
Super. I'm glad you did that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I know we're running up on the end of the show, but I will just say for my Tigers this weekend on Friday night, I guess 2 things: if the offensive line can continue to gel, and if we stay consistent with running the ball, and if our secondary can show some sort of eye discipline, I think we'll pull it out. I'm going to call our shot 27-18.
27-8. Going to hold them to 18 points, huh?
If we can be disciplined in the secondary, I think we'll cause enough havoc.
Hey, thank you for the phone call. Thank you for going to Seawells and enjoying a great lunch. Next time, give us a heads up. We'll meet you over there.
I'll do that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right, Matthias.
You sure that was not Lamont Paris that just called in?
Lamont Paris?
Yes. If we're ever looking for a voice twin for Coach Paris, I think Matthias is. It sounded just like Coach Paris.
Really?
I'll pull up Lamont Paris's sound, and you can tell me.
In the meantime, let's go to Tristan Lee, Clemson offensive tackle. This is good stuff from him. He's a senior. He's come back from injury. He was back in the lineup against Florida State. And all he wants to do is stay healthy and help his team win as many games as possible here down the stretch of the season. He spoke with the media yesterday, and he began by talking about getting healthy and getting back in the lineup.
You know, I do anything for my brothers, and like you said, you know, trying to go in the valley and get a win and get my team everything I can to try to contribute to that. So, yeah, that was my mindset, whatever it takes to win, go win and get everything I got.
How would you describe the season, kind of what the emotions have been like?
Yeah, obviously tough. Obviously, up and down. But, we all made a commitment to this team long before the season. And, that wasn't we're going to be committed if everything goes right and, nothing ever goes wrong. We're committed to this team. And that's my mindset. I'm grounded in that. I love my teammates. I love this school, and it didn't change my mindset. Obviously, some disappointing moments here and there, but you got to keep stacking and get ready for the next opportunity. We got Louisville this week, so I'm focused on Louisville.
You found a passage, I guess it was like Isaiah chapter 6, I think. And
yes, sir.
How did you come to that? Or is that something you shared with your team?
Yeah. Well, I'm a big movie guy. I love watching movies, and I don't know if any of y'all have seen Fury, so World War II movie. But with the character Bible in the movie, he, they get to this point where they can keep moving on and leave there's a German battalion that was going to cross through the bridge that they were protecting and posted at, and they could have kept going and left it for the next group. But one of his name's Bible in the movie, I believe, the character, he just talked about it. He said, then the Lord said, who shall go for us? Who will we send? And then Isaiah said, here am I, send me. And I think that's a mindset. And I told it to the guys because, like you said, maybe the season hasn't gone how we all imagined, but this is my senior year, and I wear that Paul with pride. I wear all that with pride, and I don't want to wait till next season another team to earn respect for Clemson and anything like it's us. I told them wasn't 100% going to the game, but I said I'm gonna be there battling, and that was kind of the message. Send me as in the team. Let's go fight. Let's go fight. We're not gonna win the national championship. That's just is what it is. But we have a lot of things to fight for. So let's put it on the line and go fight for it. And that was my message.
I asked him about bowl eligibility, and he said he thinks he has a lot of guys that would love that chance to play
Absolutely.
A final game with their brothers. Are you one of those guys?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't take a single day for granted here that I get to strap it up with my brothers. There's been a streak of us having bowl eligibilities back to 1999. I'm sure he talked about that, but that's a responsibility to keep that going, and I plan on doing that. So,
all right, comments of Tristan Lee from Clemson as the Tigers get ready to go to Louisville. Pat Kelsey could be at that game. What a win for the Cards over Kentucky last night. How good a coach is Pat Kelsey? I mean, honestly, how good a coach is Pat Kelsey?
He's insanely good. He's won everywhere he's been, whether it be at Winthrop at the college, and now he's going to win, and I think win big at U of L. And on top of that, Phil, they're going to give him the resources, and you know what I mean now about resources. Mm-hmm. He's going to have plenty to spend on a really good basketball team. But, yeah, that was a dynamite game this early in the season for sure. No, but I want to go back to what Tristan Lee said. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We'll circle back.
No, you go ahead.
I thought his comments at the end were really, really interesting because we were talking, a little bit earlier about South Carolina, and if they were to lose to Texas A&M, how much would those guys have to play for the rest of the season? Tristan Lee understands that Clemson's not going to reach virtually any of their goals this year, but he said if they get bowl eligible, it sounded like to me he said he's going to play in that game. He's not going to opt out, which I admire because I don't know that all his teammates will do that. I don't know that all South Carolina's players would do that if they get bowl eligible.
Well, just look back at last year. And the players that opted out, and you even had a player at South Carolina opt out at halftime of the bowl game. So that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. So, yeah, I expect it's going to be, and this is the saddest part of the end of the regular season is what we now have to deal with transactionally in college sports, whether it's football, basketball, baseball. Now, the portal doesn't open until January, but I mean, the reporting, because all these guys have agents. I was just looking here on X, and I mean, Anderson, there's a sports agency that apparently has locked up players from Anderson University in Anderson, South Carolina, Bobby Lamb's program, and putting on Twitter that these guys are entering the transfer portal. Now, the window doesn't open until January, so you can't do anything until January.
Right.
So you're going to have reporting, though. You're going to have reporting because these agents who are like cockroaches, I mean, they just come out of the ground with the emergence of NIL and the opportunity for them to make money off somebody else, which is, they're leeches. And so now they're going to report to, whatever website they want to report to, usually on 3. Their guys entering the transfer portal, to give them some free publicity on the internet. My point is, you're going to just see that. You're going to be inundated with that kind of stuff. Starting really now, as seasons end, you're going to be inundated with that kind of stuff. And I just find it, we have to cover it and we have to pay attention to it. We make fun of it, with our, what do we call it, as the NIL churns? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll get back to our NIL churn segment. It'll be heavy, too, because, I mean, the players are going to be bolting by the thousands, right? By the thousands.
Yeah, and I think it's sad, but it absolutely is. And it's the one thing, if college football wants to sort of mirror the NFL, it's the one thing the NFL does not deal with. You don't see players at the NFL level opting out of anything unless they're seriously hurt and they just can't play. But it's not for, they just don't want to play.
Oh, they retire. Like Jair Alexander with the
Yep.
Eagles today. Apparently he's going to retire. They put him on the retired list. He's decided he doesn't want to play. That'll do it. Thank you, Bergie. That's all we got. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.